Hi viewers, welcome to Sindhu English. இன்னைக்கு நம்ம சேனல்ல PG TRB Education Unit-VII Educational Evaluation. So இந்த டாபிக்ல இருக்கக்கூடிய 100 questions தான் நாம இப்ப பார்க்க போறோம். So first subheading test, measurement, assessment and evaluation. First question. What is the primary purpose of educational evaluation? To improve teaching and learning. Which of the following best defines assessment in education? Which of the following best defines assessment in education? A systematic process to gather evidence of learning. Measurement in education refers to measurement in education refers to assigning numerical values to performance. Assigning numerical values to performance. What distinguishes evaluation from assessment? What distinguishes evaluation from assessment? Evaluation involves judgment. Assessment involves data collection. Evaluation involves judgment. Assessment involves data collection. Which of the following is a key component of evaluation? Which of the following is a key component of evaluation? Interpretation of data. Next topic, principles of evaluation. Which principle ensure fairness in evaluation? Objectivity. A test is considered objective when it is free from personal bias. When it is free from personal bias. Which principle ensures a test measure the intended learning outcomes? Which principle ensures a test measure the intended learning outcomes? Validity. Reliability of a test refers to its consistency in results. Its consistency in results. A test lacking validity will fail to measure the intended construct. Next topic, characteristics of a good test. A test with which high reliability ensures. A test with high reliability ensures consistent results across administrations. Consistent results across administrations. Objectivity in a test is achieved by clear scoring criteria. Validity of a test is compromised. Validity of a test is compromised if it measures the irrelevant skills. A test with high discrimination index. A test with high discrimination index differentiates between high and low performers. Differentiates between high and low performers. Which factor does not affect the test reliability? Which factor does not affect the test reliability? Color of the test paper. Next, types of test. A formative test is conducted. A formative test is conducted during the learning process. Summative tests are primarily used to access the final achievement. A norm-referenced test compares a student's performance to. A norm-referenced test compares a student's performance to other students. A criterion-referenced test measures the performance against. A criterion-referenced test measures performance against a predefined standard. Which test is used to identify learning difficulties? Which test is used to identify learning difficulties? Diagnostic test. Next, scholastic and non-scholastic evaluation. Scholastic and non-scholastic evaluation. Scholastic evaluation focuses on academic performance. Non-scholastic evaluation includes the assessment of creativity and teamwork, which is an example of non-scholastic skill. Leadership in group activities. Scholastic tests are typically objective. Non-scholastic evaluation often uses observation and rubrics. Next topic, achievement test. An achievement test measures knowledge and skills learned, which is a feature of an achievement test. Assesses specific curriculum content. Achievement tests are most aligned with summative evaluation. An achievement test is least likely to access. An achievement test is least likely to access emotional intelligence. Standardization of an achievement test ensures. Standardization of an achievement test ensures uniform administration and scoring. Diagnostic and prognostic test. A diagnostic test is used to identify the learning gaps. Prognostic tests are designed to predict the future performance. Which test helps the teachers tailor instruction? Diagnostic test. A prognostic test is most useful for career counseling. Diagnostic tests focus on specific weaknesses. Next topic, continuous and comprehensive evaluation, CCE. CCE emphasizes holistic development. Continuous evaluation involves ongoing assessments. Comprehensive evaluation includes scholastic and non-scholastic areas. The main goal of CCE is to reduce the student's stress. CCE uses which of the following tools? Portfolios and observations. Next topic, standardization of an achievement test. Standardization of a test involves establishing uniform procedures. A table of weightage in test design ensures balanced content coverage. A blueprint of a test specifies. A blueprint of a test specifies content and question types. The scoring key in a test provides. The scoring key in a test provides correct answers for objective questions. Item analysis in test standardization evaluates. Item analysis in test standardization evaluates question difficulty and discrimination. Next topic, item analysis. The index of difficulty measures. The index of difficulty measures how many students answer the questions correctly. A high discrimination index indicates a question distinguishes between high and low performers. If a question has a low discrimination index, it should be revised or removed. Item analysis helps improve. Item analysis helps improve test reliability and validity. A question with an index of difficulty of 0.8 is very easy. Tools for assessment. Observation as an assessment tool is best for. Observation as an assessment tool is best for assessing behavior and skills. Assessing behavior and skills. An interview in assessment is useful for in-depth understanding of students' perspectives. A portfolio in education is a collection of students' work over time. Rubrics are used to standardize the subjective assessments. Peer reviews in assessment promote. Peer reviews in assessment promote collaborative learning. Checklists in assessment are used to. Checklists in assessment are used to track the specific behaviors or tasks. Track the specific behaviors or tasks. Rating scales in assessment provide. Rating scales in assessment provide gradation of performance. Gradations of performance. Which tool is best for assessing teamwork? Which tool is best for assessing teamwork? Observation. A rubric ensures consistency in. A rubric ensures consistency in scoring the subjective task. Portfolios are most effective for tracking progress over time. Additional questions. Which test is most likely to be norm referenced? Which test is most likely to be norm referenced? Track a national entrance exam. A criterion referenced test is best for. A criterion referenced test is best for measuring mastery of specific skills. Continuous evaluation reduces student stress from single exams. Comprehensive evaluation assesses cognitive and non-cognitive skills. A prognostic test is likely to. A prognostic test is least likely to access the current knowledge. Which tool is least effective for accessing creativity? Multiple choice test. A high index of difficulty indicates. A high index of difficulty indicates a question is difficult. The purpose of a blueprint in a test design is. The purpose of a blueprint in test design is to ensure the content coverage. Reliability of a test is improved by. Reliability of a test is improved by increasing test length. Validity is most affected by. Validity is most affected by alignment with learning objectives. Summative test is typically. A summative test is typically conducted at the end of the unit. A diagnostic test is least likely to. A diagnostic test is least likely to certify achievement. Non-scholastic assessment includes emotional intelligence. A table of weightages is used to. A table of weightages is used to plan the test content. Plan the test content. The discrimination index measures. The discrimination index measures ability to differentiate the performance levels. A portfolio assessment is best for long-term progress tracking. Rubrics are most useful for subjective assessments. Peer reviews encourage. Peer reviews encourage collaborative feedback. Checklists are best for simple task tracking. Simple task tracking. Rating scales are used to measure the performance levels. A formative test provides feedback for improvement. A formative test provides feedback for improvement. A summative test is used to access the final achievement. A summative test is used to access the final achievement. Norm referenced tests are useful for comparing students' performance. Criterion referenced test focuses on mastery of objectives. Achievement tests are designed to measure the learned knowledge. Diagnostic test helps in. Diagnostic test helps in identifying the specific weakness. Prognostic tests are used for predicting future performance. CCE is designed to promote the holistic development. A standardized test ensures uniform administration. Item analysis improves test validity and reliability. Observation is most effective for accessing behavioral skills. Interviews in assessment are best for in-depth students' insights. Portfolios are used to track the progress over time. Rubrics helps in standardizing subjective grading. Peer reviews are effective for collaborative learning. Checklists are useful for tracking the specific task. Rating scales provide graduated performance levels. A high discrimination index means a question differentiates well. A table of weightage ensures balanced content coverage. The main purpose of item analysis is to improve the question quality. Okay friends. So இந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு ரொம்பவே யூஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். So இதே மாதிரி இன்னொரு டாபிக்ல 100 क्वेश्चंसஸ்ல நம்ம பார்க்கலாம். Thank you all.